Hello and welcome back to another review. And welcome back to a car which I've been waiting to drive for a long time, mainly because I've got something to compare it against, and that is the BMW M235i. So this is a 2014 Audi S3 Saloon. So basically it's the elongated version basically of an Audi S3 Sportback. It's got the same engine as the Golf R, so produced it's a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine producing 296 horsepower and about 280 foot-pounds of torque. Made it to a S-tronic gearbox, which is basically Audi's version of a DSG gearbox. So yeah, so it's very pokey, very powerful, any gear. So yeah, so I'm very interested to compare because, like I said, the M235i is directly, or is a direct competitor to the Audi S3, along with the Mercedes CLA 45. And I want to compare them because they, in a way, I find they are very different cars. So this has 4 doors or 5 doors with a boot, and a BMW M235i only has 3 doors. It only comes in a coupe variant. So therefore, you know, why would you pick this car over that car? Well, I suppose if you want a bit more practicality, and you may want access to the back doors, then you would choose this car. However, again, you've also got the M235, who's got a 3-litre straight 6 engine. So therefore, you get a bit more engine note and engine sound. Over this car, which is just a 2-litre, like most hot hatches or performance cars nowadays. So you retain a bit of that BMW heritage there, being a straight 6. So I suppose there's that sort of thing. Now, I would class this car compared to that car in terms of a GT car, more of a tourer. It's comfortable, you know. Where you sit in here is just incredible, really, really nice. You know, German Audi, they've always been very, very good at creating the most incredible interiors. Everything's just tactile, everything feels nice. Everything's brushed in aluminium, or it's got, you know, decent plastics. Nothing feels hard to touch. You know, there's nothing that scratches. So yes, you can see why you would possibly choose this. But then on the other hand, you've also got the M235i, has got a really good chassis, really awesome chassis, very engaging, and that's purely rear-wheel drive, whereas this one is quattro. So in a way, you know, on paper, these two cars are pretty much the same. The BMW M235i has got more power, it's got 325 horsepower, whereas this one has 296. 0 to 60 time, the BMW is 0.1 seconds quicker, producing 4.8 seconds rather than 4.9 seconds. However, if you think about it in terms of all year round power, the Audi beats it every time, mainly because it'll be able to get the power down in any situation, in any weather. So I suppose those are the two sort of things you need to sort of think about as well. You know, what you're going to be using the car for. In terms of where do you live, is it, you know, very remote? You know, if it snows, you can have trouble getting out, etc. So yeah, there's a couple of variants, and a couple, you know, very similar cars in a way as well. Both sort of that mid-range performance cars. Now this one's finished in a lovely red. I don't know the exact specific Audi colour, but it's really, really nice. It's got some nice, decent alloys on it as well, which just make it look stand out. The DSG, the S-tronic gearbox even, is just incredible. Like most Audi cars I've driven, you know, a few S4, S5. They're just so good. You know, instant gear changes. When you've got the car in dynamic mode, or the equivalent a Sport or Sport Plus mode of BMW, the gears are just brilliant. It holds on to the gears until the red line and then changes for you. This one also has the well-known DSG fart when you change gear. So basically cracks or pops when you change gear and when you get high up in the rev range, which is really cool. But again, jumping back to the M235i, it's a 2-litre, so this is not going to sound like that. You know, that car is a 3-litre straight 6. turbocharged as well, it just sounds so much better. You know, you cannot beat that sort of straight six or V6 sound. With a 2 litre. But then this is absolutely rapid, and it just feels so stable, so stable. There's no worries about, you know, putting the foot down on the corner. And I think with the BMW M235i, I would be quite worried in terms of going around corners, you know, in quite high speed in sort of slightly slippery conditions. I'd be worried that the back end would kick out. So yeah, so this particular car has also done just under 30,000 miles. Like I said, it's finished to quite a lovely little colour, which, you know, you don't see that many on the road in this colour. It's got all the usual, you know, systems. It's got a Bose sound system, which is incredible. Really good sound. You can expect, you know, from listening to anything. Again, just a very well polished German car. So, to end the video on a note, I'm going to say that I suppose there's no sort of real winner in terms between the M235i and the Audi S3, mainly because it depends merely on the situation. So, you know, whether you've got kids or whether you tend to use the car for, you know, carrying a lot, etc. You may choose separate cars. So this one being the more, you know, practical, family friendly, I would say, almost. GT Tourer as well. Another thing I forgot to mention was the fact that this car is slightly better in terms of fuel economy as well. So it claims 40 miles per gallon on a mixed driving. However, I would probably say it's roughly down sort of mid-30s on average, and the BMW would probably get low 30s if not lower. So yeah, so like I said, a bit more of a GT, more practical car, a bit more of a sensible car, I suppose, than the M235i. But then on the other hand, the M235i was a cracking engine, really good chassis, really engaging. Yeah, really fun car to drive, and just that exhaust sound is just, yeah, it's incredible. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, massive thank you to Ron Road Cars for allowing me to take the car up for, you know, a couple of hours and able to do this review. I also just want to say a massive thank you to Liam, who's actually, you can't see him, he's actually hiding behind the camera. He's actually holding the number plate in the window at the moment because it's a bit of a nightmare. But he's going to produce some of the sort of external shots that you'll see on the video. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys very soon for plenty more content to come. Thank you, bye.